So, AliExpress watches. If you've never seen one watch review about a watch that's been bought from AliExpress, welcome. Hopefully you can be enlightened. And if you've bought hundreds of watches from AliExpress, hopefully this can still enlighten you, because I'm going to show you, after I've talked to you face to face, I'm going to flip the camera around and show you watches I've still got in my collection, why I've still got them, what to look out for, what kind of things that are amazing that you can get, these hidden gems that are hidden on AliExpress. But there's always compromises along the way and all these things to consider. So I'm going to discuss that in today's video. Hopefully it'll be a bit of fun, a bit of education, and you get to see some watches as well. And if there's any of these watches that you like the look of course, there'll be affiliate links in the description, but we're not here for that. This isn't a sales pitch. This is just me showing you watches I think are worthy of keeping for a bit longer than me just flipping them, because I've got to keep this channel going. But it's all just helpful. And I'd love to read your comments to this video as well, to find out what has been your favourite watch you have bought from AliExpress. Or if you haven't bought one yet, what one are you considering? I'll give you some advice if you have any questions. I'll do my best to help you out. So that's what it's all about. It's a community feel on this channel, and it'd be a pleasure to have you on board if you haven't joined already. But that's enough about that. Let's flip this camera out and take a closer look at all the watches I've decided to keep in the collection and all the pros and cons you need to know about. I'll do my best. Hope you enjoy. Let's take a look. So, AliExpress watches, pros and cons. I'm going to try my best to keep this brief but educational and a bit of fun. So let's start with the pros of AliExpress watches. Here we've got a selection of watches just that I've still got in the collection. What we got is, top here is the Pagani, spelled P-A-G-R-N-E, designed PG1675. This is escapement time, paying homage to a Kingsaker from the 70s. Corju, homage to the Omega Railmaster. Pagani design, paying strong homage to the Rolex Daytona. And we've got the new Cadison C8185 with a Miyota movement, the homage to a Rolex day date. And prices wise, what I paid for these was 108. This was 60 all in. That was 58 plus taxes, so it's about 67. This was 55 plus delivery, about 65 I think all in total. And this one was 88 all in at the moment, because it's a new release and I wasn't patient to wait for the price to go down. So you can just give you an idea of the prices. The pros are plenty of choice. Look at all these. There's so many watches. That's a really good start. You get more spec for your money. You're generally going to get the sapphire and ceramic. All of these watches have sapphire. Anything where there's a bezel is made of ceramic, these are all things that Swiss used to charge a massive premium. There was a Longines Hydro Conquest. They charged 100 quid more for it to have a ceramic bezel. But they cost literally pennies to make. It's an insult. So don't be fooled. Same with sapphire. All sapphire is synthetic. If you were to have a real sapphire, it'd got the crystal alone would be an absolute fortune. So they make it in labs. So sapphire for all of these. Don't be fooled by sapphire. I can't believe they don't put it in everything, because it's ridiculous that they don't. It's a con that they don't. To be honest with you, as it's scratch resistant and it doesn't cost much more to put in. 55 quid watch you can have sapphire in. Anyway, spec for your money is obviously great. There's always new releases. I mean, this is a new release. This is the new release. They come out literally every week, different brands with new releases. Some are a bit slower than others. This is a bit slower, as our Corju, but Pagani and Cadison, it's almost a new watch every week. It's crazy. So that's a good thing. Reasonable buyer protection when you buy these kind of watches. So it's not the best, but it's okay. It depends on the store you buy from and how helpful the sales team are at responding or believing what you say is a problem, even though you know you're right, and they'll be reluctant to do anything because, you know, it's such a faff. And if you've got a problem and you have to send it back to China, that's also a massive ball ache. So it's just a pain in the arse. That's the trouble with buying stuff all the way from China. If you have a problem, it's almost just to write it off as you have to sort it out yourself, pretty much. It's too much hassle for a cheap watch. And that's the downside, unfortunately. And frequent sales and tokens for savings, do keep an eye out for those things. They do vary a lot. I got this for 108, but they've gone up in price. So I got it in the sale, which is great. The sale came out when this was a new release. So that was really good news. Now they've gone up to about 130, 140, but again, depends which store. And I try and recommend the best stores possible, generally the official stores, because you do get the best customer service I've found. You do have a better overall speed of delivery and things like that. So I back up my reasoning through experience. And that is effectively the pros out of the way. It's effectively value for money and the main thing, and the price and the amount of choice you've got. That's the main bulk of the pros and why people love these watches. And getting a watch which looks like something that costs £4,000 to £6,000 or more for less than £100. That's another huge pro, but it's also a negative. Now, let's move on to the cons. Inconsistent quality control. I've had varying problems with varying watches. They generally can range from bracelets on Paganis. They have loose screws or broken clasps, things like that. They can come wobbly and loose. We can have misaligned cyclops. This one is perfect, but very frequent problem is wonky cyclops or crowns which are wobbly or don't screw in properly. They bind because of bad machining on the thread. Misaligned bezel inserts. This one's good on this one, for example, but you can also have sloppy bezel feel. There's so many variable quality control things that they can vary. So we try and help you out as viewers or people looking to buy a watch from AliExpress to know what to possibly expect for your money. But generally things have improved. Early on I would always find there was some little annoying thing with these kind of really entry-level watches. But it's getting a lot rarer now, to be honest. I've had very few issues. I bought a lot of watches from AliExpress and I've had very, very few give me any concern. But that's the concern. It's inconsistent. Moving on, the other downside to having new releases all the time, like this one, for example, is they could outdate it or be forgotten about within a week or two. But the good thing is you can get a better price for it. So it swings around about. So they can do updated versions of watches, and you go, well, the one I've just bought, the thing that bugged me, you've just improved. Now I've just bought a watch which is outdated. That can happen frequently. You get massive delivery times. I had to wait a month for this one when I bought it, because that took 10 days. Inconsistent. Inconsistent customer service. You could say, hi Cosio, I've got a problem with my thing, and they could be really helpful. Another store, you could say, I've got a problem with my Benyard, for example, and they will give you maybe a very small partial refund. It really fluctuates and inconsistent there as well. And sometimes they can just be totally trying to avoid believing what you said in the first place and try and get, instead of being helpful and get to the bottom of it quickly, they're just trying to worm their way out of it. I'm not naming names, but some of you may know who I might be talking about. The thing about homage watches is someone may judge you in a bad way, but we shouldn't really care about others' judgments. It's our hobby and our interest. But homage to a Rolex Daytona, homage to a tuner, homage to a Rail Master, homage to a King Seiko, homage to a Day Date. Homage is borderline clone for many of these watches, and people can have a bit of an issue with that. I know we shouldn't care, but you know, there is a lot of snobbery, a massive amount of snobbery in the watch world. It can go from being, you can wear anything and people won't care, to people go, well, you've got last year's Daytona. Well, what's the matter with you? You haven't got this year's one. You know, I don't stand for all that rubbish, but that's the downside to horology sometimes is snobbery. But at the end of the day, we're not all rich. We're not all swimming in money. I have viewers living in different parts of the world with different levels of wealth. And I've had people message me saying, I save £20 a month to buy a watch. And I'm really excited about looking to watch reviews and choose one. And I'd say, well, if you don't want to be disappointed, save up for a few months and get yourself one of these or one of these. If you really want to treat yourself, get, you know, something that's like this for £100, and that you can go anywhere and do anything with. And that's what I mean. And there's someone out there who say, well, I spend that on lunch, you know, and I'm like, well, good for you. But at the end of the day, that's the other thing about horology. Let's move on to the next thing. Prices are creeping up. I've written notes over there. I'm looking at them. Paganis generally are maxed out about £70. Now they're generally over £100 for new releases. So they do vary in price. So that isn't always very good. Another thing that's a bit of a worry, sometimes the descriptions aren't right. We help you out as reviewers and tell you what they are. There's been watches I've bought that said they had sapphire and they didn't, or they've been made out of stainless steel, they weren't. So that's the kind of thing which can be inconsistent. So another thing worth noting as well about savings from sales, they aren't always as good as you think, because prices obviously can go down. I've got this at a good saving, but sometimes they can say a watch is, you know, always £20 off, but they've crept the price up. And there's other times out of sales, they're already a good price anyway, and they don't really change. So the sale price can bring it back down to a price it was 2 weeks ago. So be wary of that, but do save up your coupons and your tokens and things like that. And do keep an eye out for sales videos, because we try our best to pluck out the gems out there. And speaking of gems, these are kind of my best recommendations at the moment. There's 2 new releases here, which, you know, I may or may not keep long term, but I mean, this is a good watch because it's the fit and finish of this Pagani has improved significantly, but it's still got, it has actually got crap loom, but everything else is really well made and lines up, and the strap is really good quality rubber, which is surprising for just over £100 watch. This is beautifully finished watch for less than £100. Gorgeous, really is. I love the dial, but the indices aren't always, they don't actually, they're a bit misaligned. If you look at the, let's see if I can get some focus. Those 4 there, they don't all line up perfectly. They're all a bit all over the shop, you know, compared to what they could be. But it's still very well finished. You get exhibition case back, a Japanese motor movement. It's all very, very impressive for the money. Again, sapphire. And all stainless steel construction. It fits so well. It's really comfortable. Really good choice. But the real gems are these 3. Let's get these 2 out of the way, because these are the newer releases. And there's another gem over here I'm going to get out. Let's start with the premium one. If you're going to really treat yourself and get yourself something that's going to cost nearer to £200, which is kind of top end homage territory, this is my favourite San Martin today. I must say, it really is, because even though it's a bigger watch, it's a big chunky, I think it's a 44 this one, but it wears so comfortably, and it is a really well balanced watch and beautiful fit and finish. Lovely big screw down crown. Cyclops lines up perfectly. The bezel action is nice. It's not the best, but it's nice. The loom is stunning. I'll quickly turn the light out, I can show you. Get the torch on there. Give it a quick charge. I mean, this BGW9 loom is just beautiful, and everything, it just feels such a quality product. And that pearl dial is something else. Get some photo. Look at that. Beautiful. £170. I'd say top end watches are San Martins and Chronos and things like that. These, in terms of homage territory that you really want to get, you don't need to spend much more than that. But you know what watches are stunning value for money as well? Escapement time watches. I bought this. They're not in stock at the moment, I don't think, but keep an eye out, because they're going to make more, surely, because people absolutely went bananas for this when it was released, because a few of us watch reviewers talked about them and you guys went nuts for it, because fit and finish, breathtaking for the money. Faultless indices, polishing is stunning. You've got blued seconds hand, you've got a mecha quartz movement, 4 ticks a second, just about £60. And it's so slim and elegant and fun. Beautiful watch design, and what a classy dress watch. And I put it on this watch to sort of complement, this is one of my straps for my business, and it complements the blue seconds hand. Another everyday wear watch you can wear is this Corju, £58 I paid ages ago, but these are still only about 60 to 70 with the seagull movement. You get it with a Miyota, so there's the seagull in the back there. I've had this in the swimming pool, no problems. The only issue it had was a slightly stiff screw down crown, which I fixed with some silicone grease, but see, it's so smooth now. Really comfortable, lovely, really comfortably fitting bracelet, and the brushing is really neat and smooth. For your money, you'll be really happy with this. It's got a lovely textured dial. It's good fun. And then you got this. This is the daddy when it comes to value for money. You've got a mecha quartz movement, chronograph. It's gorgeous. Loads of colour choices, solid bracelet. You can get it on a rubber strap if you wanted to. 100 meters water resist. It's slim, really well finished. Sapphire crystal ceramic. All this for 50 to 60 pounds. It's just such a good all-round sports watch. You'd love it. So that's just to give you a ballpark of the kind of watches you can get on AliExpress for your money that I would recommend. They're the ones I've actually kept. I mean, if you've seen my channel, you know I've got through a lot of watches. The fact that they are still in the collection is testament to what I feel about them. But then, for similar money, what else can you get? Well, dive watch-wise, stepping away from AliExpress, why you should consider something with some originality. Go for an Orient, £123. If you want something quirky and quartz and is only about £100, different colour variations of the Casio. They even do a mini one now. Cracking watch for the money. Another watch which is got cult status and is quite easy to mod. Another Casio. This I put sapphire crystal in. All in, this watch owes me less than £80, even though I put it on one of my premium blue FKM waffle straps. Decent dive watch. What else have we got? £40, you can get a titanium loris. For £100, including mods, you can get a Vostok Amphibia. And I just done the dress diver with this one, but this has been tested on another channel who test watches to destruction. This can take up to 800 meters worth of pressure and still work and not fail. There's so many quirky choices. And then I'm keeping everything here as affordable because I've got a few other watches which cost a little bit more, but we're talking watches here all under £200. I mean, what an amazing selection of watches you can get for the money. So there we are. Just hope you've enjoyed my sort of helpful guide as to what I'd say as sort of, these are really good value for money watches, which you won't be disappointed in. If these you can get easily. This one, just keep an eye out for. But the San Martins are easy to get hold of. They're available. Go for those. Then you've got Pagani designs, again hit and miss, but I'd say the new premium ones they're not bad for the money now. I'd say they're not as good value as before, but I'd say they're still definitely worth a go. But overall, I hope I've helped you with the general pros and cons of AliExpress watches and what to look out for, and alternative recommendations which I've shown from my collection of why you don't have to just stick with homage watches. For about £100 or less, you can get loads of other fun stuff with a lot of history behind it. And that's also another part of horology. So mix it up a bit, guys. If you budget 200 quid, you can get yourself a really nice homage watch and something fun like a Casio or Vostok. So in the meantime, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you're all doing okay, and I'll see you very soon in the next video. Bye for now.